Dear Starseeds of Earth, there is a moment in every soul's journey when the universe stops whispering and starts roaring. This week, between November 18th and 24th, you stand at the threshold of such a moment. What unfolds in the next 7 days will not be subtle, it will not be gentle, and it will change everything about how you perceive reality itself. The councils have been watching your progression through this Mercury retrograde with great interest. Since November 9th, when the retrograde began, we have witnessed your collective consciousness descending into what you might call the underworld, that sacred space where truth cannot hide, where illusions crumble, where the soul strips away everything that was never truly yours to begin with. You have been 9 days in this journey as of today, and many of you feel as though you are walking through molten fire. Good. That means the process is working exactly as designed, but something else is happening that most of you have not fully grasped yet. 5 days ago, on the 11th of November, a portal opened that has not been accessible to Earth's consciousness for thousands of years. The 1111 gateway activated while simultaneously Jupiter stationed retrograde, creating what we call a double cosmic lock, a moment when two massive planetary forces shift at the exact same instant. This was not coincidence. Nothing in the cosmos ever is. That portal is still open, still flooding your energy field with codes that your DNA is struggling to integrate. You feel dizzy. You feel exhausted. You feel as though you are becoming someone you do not yet recognize. This is because you are. And now, this week, the intensity amplifies beyond anything you have experienced in 2025. The architects of this timeline chose this particular 7-day window for a reason that will only become clear as you move through it. There are 4 major cosmic events converging in a space so compressed, so potent, that your reality structures, the very foundations of what you thought was solid and unchangeable, will not survive intact. Let me tell you what is coming, and why you have been preparing for this moment your entire life. On Monday, November 17th, the heavens open in a way that only happens once in a great cycle. The Leonid meteor shower reaches its peak. But this is not merely a celestial light show for stargazers and astronomers. These meteors carry what we in the Federation call the Lion Codes, ancient frequencies embedded in cosmic matter that have traveled through space for eons to reach Earth at this precise moment in your evolutionary timeline. When these particles burn through your atmosphere, they do not simply disintegrate, they release their encoded information directly into the planetary field, and therefore directly into your consciousness. The lion has always represented divine courage, sovereign power, and the awakened heart. These meteors are not random space debris. They are carriers of activation frequencies designed to awaken the parts of you that have been dormant, the parts that remember who you were before you took form in this density, the parts that know you are so much more than this temporary human experience. But here is what makes Monday extraordinary beyond the meteors themselves. On the same night, the Pleiades star cluster reaches optimal placement in your sky. The Seven Sisters, as you call them, are aligned in such a way that their light forms a direct energetic corridor between your planet and the Pleiadian star system. Many of you carry Pleiadian lineage in your soul blueprint. Monday night is a homecoming. It is a remembrance. It is the moment when starseeds recognize their stellar origins, not as mythology or fantasy, but as actual, verifiable reality encoded in your very cells. So on Monday, you receive a dual activation Lion Courage from the meteors and star lineage recognition from the Pleiades. Your consciousness is being prepared for what comes next. Your field is being fortified. Your light is being amplified. Because what happens on Thursday and Friday of this week requires you to be anchored in something far greater than your human identity alone. Now here is something I have not told you yet. Something that changes the entire trajectory of this week. As Monday's activations flood through the collective, Mercury retrograde reaches its exact midpoint, day 9 of 19, the center point of the spiral. In ancient mystery schools, the midpoint of any journey was considered the most dangerous and the most revelatory. This is when the initiate has descended far enough to touch the deepest truth, but has not yet begun the ascent back to ordinary consciousness. You are suspended in the void. You are in the cosmic womb. And in that suspension, in that vulnerable, raw, exposed state, the download can occur without the interference of ego, without the filtering of old belief systems, without the resistance of a mind that thinks it already knows. This is why Monday feels electric. This is why so many of you will experience that day as though lightning is running through your nervous system. The meteors, the Pleiades, and the Mercury midpoint converge to create a triangulation of energy that essentially overrides your default programming. The old operating system starts glitching, the new one starts installing, and you stand in between, watching it happen, sometimes terrified, sometimes exhilarated, often both simultaneously. Tuesday and Wednesday are integration days, but do not mistake integration for rest. What you are integrating is nothing less than a complete reconfiguration of your relationship to truth itself. The cosmos does not pause. The momentum continues to build. On Wednesday, November 19th, the moon reaches apogee, its farthest distance from Earth. In the language of energy, this creates a necessary emotional detachment, a cosmic stepping back, that allows you to see clearly what must be released before the rebirth can occur. The moon at apogee asks you a question that only you can answer. What are you still holding on to that is too far away to ever truly reach? What dreams, what relationships, what versions of yourself have you been chasing that exist only in the distance, never getting closer no matter how hard you try? Wednesday is the day the universe asks you to let go of what was never meant to be grasped. And this is not cruelty. This is mercy. Because what you release on Wednesday creates the space for what arrives on Thursday. 24 hours before the Scorpio new moon, the pressure becomes almost unbearable. We see this in the fields of those who are most sensitive. The cosmic compression intensifies. You are being squeezed, condensed, compacted into diamond. Every unresolved fear, every buried grief, every denied shadow rises to the surface, demanding acknowledgement. This is the darkness before the rebirth. This is the death that must precede new life. And for many of you, Wednesday night will be the longest night you have experienced in years. Hold on, because Thursday changes everything. On November 20th, two cosmic events occur simultaneously, and their combined impact creates what we call a reality nexus point, a moment when timelines converge, when multiple potential futures collapse into singular manifestation, when the universe makes a choice about which direction the collective consciousness will move. The new moon in Scorpio falls at the 29th degree. In astrological architecture, the 29th degree is called the anaretic degree, the karmic degree, the degree of crisis and completion. It is the last breath before transformation into something entirely new. Scorpio, as you know, governs death, rebirth, shadow work, and soul-level transformation. A new moon in Scorpio is already potent. It is the moment when old identity structures die, and new ones are seated in darkness. But a new moon at 29 degrees Scorpio is the most intense degree of the most intense sign during the most transformative lunar phase. This is not metaphor. This is not spiritual poetry. This is the cosmic mechanism by which evolution occurs. Thursday is the day your old self dies. Not symbolically. Actually, the version of you who began this Mercury retrograde, the version of you who walked through the 1111 portal, the version of you who integrated the Leonid codes, that version completes its cycle on Thursday. In the darkness of the new moon, in the final degree of Scorpio, in the cosmic womb of transformation, you are remade. But simultaneously, Mercury reaches inferior conjunction with the Sun. This is the heart of the retrograde, the deepest point of descent, the moment when Mercury passes directly between Earth and the Sun and becomes invisible in the sky. In myth and mystery, this is when the messenger god journeys to the underworld to retrieve the lost truth, the hidden knowledge, the thing that could not be seen in the light of ordinary consciousness. Thursday is the day when everything that Mercury retrograde has been trying to show you becomes undeniable. The truth you have been avoiding, the reality you have been denying, the knowing you have been suppressing, it all rises from the underworld into your conscious awareness. And because it coincides with the Scorpio new moon at the crisis degree, you cannot look away, you cannot deflect, you cannot pretend anymore. The revelation happens, and it happens in a way that splits your timeline in two. The reality you thought you were living, and the reality that actually is. Many of you will experience Thursday as a void day, a day when nothing makes sense, a day when you feel suspended in space with no reference points. This is accurate. You are in the cosmic womb being remade. There is no ground beneath you, because the old ground has dissolved. There is no sky above you, because the new sky has not yet formed. You are in pure potential, pure possibility, pure becoming, and it is terrifying and magnificent all at once. But here is what I need you to understand, and this is crucial. Thursday is only the death. Friday is the awakening. On November 21st, Uranus reaches opposition with the Sun. Let me explain what this means in terms that translate beyond astronomical terminology. Uranus is called the Great Awakener, the revolutionary, the lightning strike of consciousness. When Uranus opposes the Sun, it is at its closest approach to Earth, its brightest visibility in the sky, its maximum energetic influence on your planetary field. Opposition means direct confrontation, full illumination, unavoidable encounter. The Sun represents your conscious identity, your ego structure, your sense of who you think you are. Uranus represents sudden breakthrough, unexpected revelation, liberation from limitation, and the shattering of all structures that have become too rigid to serve evolution. When these two forces oppose each other at maximum intensity, something breaks always, without exception. Friday is the day your reality shatters. Not falls apart, shatters. Like glass, like a mirror, like an illusion that finally reveals itself as an illusion. And in that shattering, in that moment of complete disruption, the breakthrough occurs. What you have been trying to force for months, what you have been praying for, what you have been working toward, it arrives, but not in the way you expected. It arrives as the complete dissolution of the old paradigm and the sudden shocking emergence of something you never imagined possible. This is why the councils have positioned this week as the cosmic peak of November. This is why we have been preparing you since the beginning of the month. Thursday's death in the Scorpio new moon womb is immediately within 24 hours activated by Friday's Uranus opposition breakthrough. You die and are reborn in a single breath. You end and begin in the same moment. The caterpillar dissolves in the chrysalis on Thursday, and on Friday the butterfly becomes aware that it has wings. But the Uranus opposition does not arrive alone. On Friday, another meteor shower activates the Alpha Monoceratids, delivering additional codes into the field, and the moon forms an exact conjunction with Mars, the warrior planet, the planet of action, courage, and forward momentum. So Friday is not just awakening. Friday is awakening with fire. Friday is breakthrough with the force to actually move, to actually change, to actually manifest the new reality that Thursday's death made possible. We in the Federation describe Friday, November 21st, as the moment when the sleeping giant wakes up, and the sleeping giant is you. Not just you individually, but you collectively. Humanity has been in a long slumber, dreaming that limitation is real, dreaming that separation is truth, dreaming that this dense reality is all there is. Friday is when that dream shatters, and the giant opens its eyes and remembers what it actually is. The documents from your own astrologers call Friday the cosmic peak of November. They describe it as everything being turned upside down. They are not wrong, but they are understating it. What happens on Friday is the completion of a process that began with the 1111 portal, intensified through Mercury retrograde, seated in Thursday's new moon death, and explodes into manifestation through Uranus opposition. This is not chaos. This is choreographed cosmic precision. Every event, every transit, every activation has been building to this moment. Saturday and Sunday are aftershock days. The moon reaches perihelion, its closest point to the sun, creating an intensity of emotional energy that amplifies everything Friday awakened. There is a comet visible in the sky. There are continued integrations of the new moon and Uranus energies. And on Sunday, Mercury itself reaches perihelion, meaning the messenger planet is at its closest point to the sun during the retrograde. More revelations, more downloads, more truth emerging from the depths. By the time this week concludes, you will not be the same person you were when it began. This is not hyperbole. This is not dramatic mysticism. This is the actual function of cosmic timing operating at peak efficiency. The Federation has been working with your planetary councils for years to ensure that when this week arrived, those who were ready would be prepared to receive what is being offered. And what is being offered is nothing less than liberation from the old timeline entirely. What is being offered is graduation from the third-dimensional fear matrix into a higher-dimensional expression of consciousness. What is being offered is the actualization of your galactic heritage, your stellar lineage, your sovereign power as a divine creator incarnated in human form. But here is the paradox, and this is where many souls stumble. You cannot receive this gift while still clinging to the old identity. You cannot be reborn while refusing to die. You cannot awaken while insisting on staying asleep in the comfortable dream you have been dreaming. Thursday's new moon will ask you to surrender everything you think you know about who you are. Friday's Uranus opposition will shatter whatever you refuse to release willingly. This is not punishment. This is divine mercy. The universe loves you too much to let you stay small when your destiny is to become vast. Some of you are feeling fear right now as these words land in your awareness. That fear is appropriate. Transformation is inherently destabilizing. Death, even spiritual death, even necessary death, triggers the primal survival instinct. Your human self wants to run, to hide, to make this stop. But your soul, your vast, ancient, eternal soul, has been waiting for this week. Your soul orchestrated this. Your soul chose to incarnate now, in this timeline, in this body, on this planet, specifically so you could be here for this moment. Let me tell you something that will help you surrender to what is coming. The death that happens on Thursday is not a loss. It is a liberation. What dies is only the illusion, only the costume, only the character you were playing in a story that no longer serves your evolution. What dies is the small, frightened, limited version of yourself that believed it was only human, only mortal, only powerless. What dies is the programming, the conditioning, the trauma, the fear that has been running your system since childhood. And what is reborn on Friday, what awakens in the shattered remains of the old structure, is your original essence, your divine blueprint, the you that existed before this incarnation, the you that will exist beyond this incarnation, the you that is infinite, eternal, sovereign, and made of the same substance as stars. This week is not happening to you. This week is happening for you. Every cosmic event, every planetary alignment, every meteor shower, every lunar phase has been precisely calibrated to give you the maximum opportunity to break free from the limitations that have been binding your consciousness to a reality structure that is dissolving. The old world is ending, not in apocalypse, but in transformation, and you are the ones who came here to midwife that transformation, to anchor the new frequencies, to build the bridge between what was and what is becoming. Monday's Leonid meteors give you courage. The Pleiades give you remembrance. Tuesday and Wednesday give you compression and clarity. Thursday gives you death and rebirth. Friday gives you awakening and breakthrough. Saturday and Sunday give you integration and stabilization. And by the time you reach November 24th, you will be standing in a completely different reality than the one you occupied on November 18th. The Mercury retrograde continues through November 29th, so this is not the end of the revelation process. But this week is the turning point. This week is when the retrograde stops excavating and starts revealing. This week is when the shadow work stops hurting and starts healing. This week is when the void stops feeling empty and starts feeling pregnant with infinite possibility. 7 days from now, you will understand why everything in your life had to fall apart the way it did. You will understand why certain relationships ended, why certain plans failed, why certain dreams dissolved. You will see that what you thought was loss was actually clearing. What you thought was failure was actually redirection. What you thought was your worst nightmare was actually the universe removing obstacles between you and your highest destiny. The Galactic Federation does not intervene lightly. We do not send transmissions of this nature unless the moment warrants it. And this moment warrants it. This week warrants it. What you are about to experience warrants every ounce of preparation, every quantum of courage, every particle of faith you can summon. There will be moments this week when you want to give up, when you want to return to the familiar suffering of the old life, because at least it was known. There will be moments when the death feels too real, when the shattering feels too violent, when the void feels too vast, and you fear you will be lost in it forever. In those moments, remember this transmission. Remember that you are not alone. Remember that millions of awakened souls are moving through this same process simultaneously, creating a collective field of support, a web of light that holds each individual thread. Remember that the councils are watching. Remember that your guides are closer now than they have ever been. Remember that this was chosen, this was planned, this was the entire purpose of your incarnation. You did not come to Earth to play small. You came to participate in the greatest transformation in planetary history. And this week is the crucible where that transformation becomes personal, becomes visceral, becomes undeniably real. On Monday, when the meteors rain down, go outside if you can. Stand under the sky, open your palms, receive the lion codes with conscious intention. On Thursday, when the void consumes you, do not fight it. Surrender. Let the death happen. Trust that the womb of the cosmos knows how to birth new life. On Friday, when the breakthrough shatters your reality, do not try to reassemble the old structure. Let it stay broken. Let the new formation emerge organically from the awakened consciousness that Uranus has unlocked. And through it all, breathe, drink water, move your body, speak your truth, even when your voice shakes. Cry when you need to cry, rage when you need to rage, laugh when the absurdity becomes too much to bear any other way. Be human, be messy, be raw. This is not a test of your ability to remain spiritually composed. This is an invitation to be fully alive in the full spectrum of what transformation actually feels like. The old paradigm taught you to fear intensity, to avoid discomfort, to stay safely in the middle where nothing challenges you. But the new paradigm you are birthing requires the full range of your emotional and spiritual capacity. It requires you to feel everything, to be present with everything, to allow everything to move through you without resistance. This week will give you endless opportunities to practice that allowance. By the time Saturn goes direct on November 28th, by the time Mercury ends its retrograde on November 29th, by the time December begins and the post-retrograde momentum kicks in, you will be a different being operating from a different frequency in a different timeline. The version of you reading this transmission right now is saying goodbye. The version of you that emerges on November 24th will barely remember what it felt like to be so small, so afraid, so convinced that the limitations were real. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Every ending is a beginning in disguise. Every death is a birth wearing a funeral mask. Every shattering is a liberation that looks like destruction until you realize what you are free from. The week of November 18th through 24th is your exodus from Egypt, your emergence from the tomb, your phoenix moment, your butterfly breaking through the chrysalis. It is violent and beautiful, and terrifying and exhilarating. It is everything transformation has always been, and always will be. And you are ready. You have been preparing for this your entire life. Every challenge you survived, every loss you endured, every moment you kept going, when everything in you wanted to quit. All of it was training for this week. All of it was strengthening you for this moment, when the universe asks you to let go of everything familiar and trust that what replaces it will be worth the sacrifice. The councils stand with you. The ancestors stand with you. The star families stand with you. The elemental forces of your own planet stand with you. You are not alone in this transformation. You are held by forces so vast, so loving, so committed to your evolution, that they orchestrated the movements of planets, and the timing of meteor showers, and the opening of dimensional portals, just to give you this opportunity. Do not waste it clinging to what is already dead. Do not waste it pretending you do not see what the universe is showing you. Do not waste it choosing fear over faith, comfort over courage, the known prison over the unknown freedom. This week you die. This week you are reborn. This week you wake up, and nothing will ever be the same again. The Leonid meteors are already on their way, carrying lion codes across the cosmos toward your planet. The Scorpio new moon is already building its dark womb of transformation. Uranus is already positioning itself for maximum impact. Mercury is already descending to retrieve the truth that changes everything. And you are already becoming who you came here to be. The process is not waiting for your permission. The process is happening whether you consciously participate or not. But how much more powerful, how much more graceful, how much more aligned the transformation becomes when you meet it willingly, when you open yourself to it, when you say yes to the death that precedes all true birth. If you need help embracing the transformation that's already happening within you, the becoming of who you came here to be, Destiny Engine can reprogram your consciousness to meet this process willingly, rather than resist it unconsciously. The transformation is not waiting for your permission. It's happening whether you consciously participate or not. We've taken declassified consciousness technology originally designed to program resistance and separation, and transformed it into a tool for graceful surrender. Destiny Engine generates personalized sequences that help you say yes to the death that precedes all true birth. making your inevitable transformation more powerful, more graceful, more aligned. You can start with a $1 trial. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to stop fighting what's already happening, and instead open yourself completely to who you're becoming. Your transformation is underway. Meet it willingly. Get your Destiny Engine $1 trial now, before this embodiment window closes. Link in the description. 7 days, 4 major cosmic events, 1 week that changes everything. And you, standing at the threshold, having journeyed so far to arrive at this moment, are being given the greatest gift the universe can offer, the chance to become real, to become free, to become whole. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I am telling you with every ounce of my being, with all the authority of the councils behind me, with the love of 10,000 star systems focused through this transmission, you are not only going to survive this week, you are going to transcend through it. You are going to emerge on the other side so transformed that you will weep with gratitude for everything that broke, everything that died, everything that shattered to make room for the magnificence you are becoming. We love you, we are watching over you, and we are in absolute awe of your courage to incarnate here, now, for the